Hello, everybody. This is Joy LaJure from Assured Musicians Group, and I have Jerry Battista with us today, and
Hi.
and a Tom, who's supposed to be Calvin Van Camp. They will be joining us shortly. I do have to give a shout out to my sponsor, Luscious Moss. And before I do that, I want to tell everybody that following this particular broadcast, I have Michael Powers coming up at about 3 o'clock. So it's a 2 hour show today, and I have reached my 1,000 member goal. And as a result of that, I put 2 people on here. So I got to shut my phone off, guys, but hopefully that won't ring. Anyway, Alicia's Moss Studio is owned and operated by Chad Quist out of Edgewood, Washington, and he is primarily set up for guitarists and drummers, but he has very collaborative creative environment set up for the musicians that come in. And he's also done a lot of my recordings. So he's a great producer, great recorder. If you have any needs, do give him a call. You can find him on Facebook. So Jerry, I'm going to start with you. This is the beginning of our show. And the first question that I'd like to ask you is how did you get started? I mean, obviously you had examples from what little I know of you with your grandfather and your father.
Right.
But can you elaborate on that for us, please?
Well, we had, back in the day, back when my grandfather was alive, we'd always have Sunday dinners, the Italian Sunday dinners. And it was always, vino and great food and music. Yeah. And,
Thank you very much.
Plus, when I started playing, and I always answer with, I started in the womb, because there was so much being played all the time by my dad and my grandfather. So, and Grandpa was an entertainer, a singer, and life of the show. So my dad was fine just being the rhythm guy and accompanying him.
So how old were you when you first picked up an instrument or started playing one?
Oh, man. Probably 7 or 8, but I didn't really start taking it seriously until about 10. I think my dad got me my first guitar. I always used his guitars, but when I got my own and I got that Mel Bay book, and I just lived and breathed it. I'd play in the morning before school, and then of course raw guitars on my peachy, and then when I got home I'd play, and it was just like, I remember I'd put my before I had an amplifier, I'd put my ear to the guitar, get that nice
ringing sound.
Sounded electric. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah,
we have a few people here that are leaving us messages, but for some reason they're not showing their names. So if you please put your name in here when you make a comment, we'd be happy to respond to you by name. It says, hello, Joy and Kelly. Another one said hello. This one said, hi, this is Dawn. I'm not sure if that's Malador or not. And can't stay long, but happy to hear what I can. So somebody has to leave early, but we do have people here live. So Kelly, I'm going to ask you when you started in comparison to Jerry. Oh, hi, Rachel. I got it.
Hi, Rachel.
I'm not. Yeah. Sorry, the comments. So
yeah, it's.
I can't see them.
Corner. If you don't turn it on, Jerry, it probably is a good show for you. I'm sorry about that.
I have to be careful with that. When I start hitting buttons on the screen, I'll take myself right back out. So.
Michael McNath's also saying hello.
Hey, hello, Michael.
Rather excited to see you today.
Excellent.
So how early was it, and what was your first guitar? I believe you played the drums and harmonica and keyboard.
Not keyboard. I can't claim to play keyboard. I mean, I can put my fingers on it and, sounds will happen, but it's nothing you might want to hear. But yeah, I focus on drums and harmonica and guitar. And I guess the most unique thing I do is drums and harmonica and vocal at the same time.
Well, at the same time.
And it's not attempted too often.
So we have
But it can be. I enjoy when drumming, being able to contribute to the front line as well as the back. It's kind of fun and makes a bigger band out of a small band.
Can you play guitar? I've heard you play guitar and sing as a front with Jerry and the Jerkels.
Yes, that's the Jerkels right there. There's Jer.
There's Jerry
on my screen.
And there.
So the next question is for Jerry. When did you start, Kelly? I'm sorry, I forgot that.
Answer. I guess kind of more formally at about 11. But I've been playing like with my siblings. Started off, I got a ukulele for my 5th birthday. That didn't really take to that much. But then that following Christmas, I got my first toy drum kit and started playing that. And got another one a couple Christmases later, and a little better one. And my older siblings and I would get together and play and record a bunch of cassettes full of albums. And started playing quite a lot at that time.
To Jerry on that one, do you have any, when you first started, 10 is pretty, you probably don't have a lot of things formed in your mind at that time, but as you progress with your music, Jerry, did you have any major influences other than your family that the type of music that you wanted to do?
Once I kind of got into electric guitar and stuff, I kind of started with listening to, James Taylor, Bread. But then, once I heard Robin Trower, I actually got my first Jimi Hendrix record when I was 10 years old from a neighbor.
You did.
It was a little much for me. I didn't understand it, and plus I'm the oldest of 6 kids, so I didn't have what Kelly had, his older brothers turning him on to all this great music.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then when I was turned on to Robin Trower, that sort of changed me, to more of that style, I guess, at the time. Because before I was just kind of rhythm, plays pretty songs.
Yeah, got it. So when I went out to oh gosh, I can't think of that place in Woodinville. I saw you out there, and you sang my song that I had requested.
Yeah.
Anyway,
was it the Jerkels or just Jer?
No, it's just Jer. He was playing the Davinois, and he was playing. I was trying to figure out whether it was rock or not. What are you guys doing out there?
I know you requested it, and now I can't.
Not that one, but just overall, what genre would you put yourself in when you were playing?
With the Davinois?
Yeah.
It's rock.
Rock. So you did carry on with your rock, and then you and Kelly, where would you put your what would you say is your genre? The two.
We're all over the place. And we've got country. We've got the Beatles.
A help dose of Beatles. It's kind of like a little bit what the situation calls for, but we'll certainly play, some country standards. We play some, some like not just rock standards, but standards, going back. Pardon my voice, by the way. It's a little rough. I'm working on. I've got the Ricolas and the tea going right now. So,
and Kelly is just downstairs from me.
Yeah.
These guys had to split up.
We tried to be in the same room, but the voice delay thing was real confusing.
Yeah,
so,
I'm trying to stay out of the sun, so you're probably seeing me moving around.
Yeah,
we have some other commenters. Kelly, can you see that screen? Can you see the comments?
I do not.
Okay, we have Donald Malador. You may or may not know him. He liked to film all the different bands, and you could always find him out at the Freedom Festival in Ebby, or EB, however they say that.
EBI.
And we have and then Kay Mitchell says hello to all of us.
Nice.
And
I'm seeing it now.
Rachel Hoover, she's
Yep.
from up north at Mirkwood area.
Hello,
And
hello.
of course, Michael. So that's, Kelly, he left us.
I did.
No.
I
Here I am.
call. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went and I was flicking through the comments a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm not sure of a different way to do it. So sorry about that if I left you.
That's okay.
Hey, Kelly, did you just hit chat then to see it?
I went to what I do? I went to more and then comments, and then it came up.
I got you. Okay. Oh, I got.
We're technical geniuses with this.
Yeah.
So, the next question is,
It's a miracle it's happening.
what was your first gig, Jerry? And then I'm going to ask that same question to you, Kelly, when he's through.
My first show.
Yeah.
I was
That's a good question.
12 or 13, and I played. It was at Shorecrest High School, and it was like the auditorium, and it was full of all guitar players. And so I went in to practice a little bit, and I went into the men's room, and it was the first time I'd ever heard like this reverb, and it sounded so good, and I felt very confident. And then it was my turn to get up on stage, and I sat on the stool, and I was so nervous that I thought I was going to black out.
Oh, no.
There, and I thought, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden I was listening to the room and how I've never played in where it had the whole sound system. And I was just blown away by how it sounded. And I kind of like just shot back up and I thought it was awesome. But I remember I mentioned Bread before. I played If a Picture Paints 1,000 Words. I played that, and I'm in a really high voice. And I played an original tune that I had written instrumental. And so that was that got me started, the bug, I guess. But I got over that hump I really did think I was going to pass out.
You would know that today.
Oh man, that feeling. Yeah, that I can't do this, because everybody was older than me and so good. And what am I doing here?
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
I'm always ready to catch you if you do fall over, Jen. Just like that. Whoa!
Yeah,
we've got it worked out.
Yeah.
It's like he has my EpiPen, and I will catch him if he has to faint.
Well, Kelly, you got to answer that question next.
Well, I hadn't thought about this in a long time, but did you both also do this where you had in grade school, we'd had like for the Christmas program where, like the third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, everybody would, they'd prepare a couple of songs, and you'd have the school concert, on a middle week night in December. And I remember doing that, getting up with each year, in grade school, and being up in front, on the stand with everybody, but singing to a full gymnasium, and I remember hearing the applause after we sang. And it's not like we sang that particularly well or anything, but I just remember being, wow, how cool the applause was.
Right.
And how, how big. It's like, I remember that was quite a buzz right off the bat.
Yeah.
So that was, I became kind of addicted to applause, I think, right about then. But as far as like playing I started doing stuff when I joined the school band, in seventh grade. And then after that, we were doing quite a bit of playing. And then in high school with my first band, The Noses, right around, I was 15, 16 when we started to play gigs. And I just started doing a lot.
Next question. Well, what was your experience the first time you got paid for the gig? Jerry is first, and Kelly, you can answer after.
Let's see, the first pay. I mean, if I got paid anything, it was probably like $50 or something, but yeah, I don't really recall. But I do remember I was landscaping. It was not long out of high school, tough, hard work.
Yes.
Then I joined this band that we made more money in a week than I, in a 3 or 4 days than I made working 5 days a week,
Yeah.
working hard. And I thought, what am I doing? So I mean, basically didn't look back after that. I know I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but
That's all right.
I thought this is how I want to make a living, is, playing music. So
that was the moment that you made that decision. So that was an important moment in your life.
Yeah.
Give me an idea of, was that out of high school, and where were you at the time? Was that in your early years in high school or later on, or?
It was just out of high school. So I was probably,
so you made it that early.
no, joking.
Oh.
Yeah, I was probably 20. Yeah.
Kelly, same question.
First time I was paid. And I thought about this recently. It's like, I know I was playing a lot of gigs in high school, but I can't remember, getting the paid part. We must have.
Yeah.
I do recall, though, I think I did, because, I was in the school band, so I played orchestral stuff, and I did, I think, a Christmas pageant, probably, sophomore, junior year, and I got a check, and I go, oh, this is great, but I didn't have a bank account, so it's like, had to sign it over. But it was a couple $100. It seemed like a heck of a lot of dough, and I was able to buy my first turntable of my own with it, so that was kind of exciting.
Yes, absolutely.
So that was, about 16. Jerry had answered a question, though, that I thought was interesting, was as far as becoming a musician, I just thought about this. Speaking of grade school memories, in 6th grade, I can recall, we had this where we had to write a book report, do some research on a profession, like, one that you might be interested in. And, we had to actually, part of it was the exercise of doing research, but I chose musician, professional musician. And I remember just like the things, it's like, well, they don't get much money, and they have to work holidays. And it's like, just all of that. And you have to practice. And so I did the book report, but it's like, all of it was 100% true. Yeah. But I always think about that I did know what I was getting into. I studied it in 6th grade in my book report. So yeah.
So the next question is, were the Jerkels together before, or you two played together? I know you played together early on, before you probably called your band the Jerkels, or your group here. How did this come about that you became a member of the Davanos band? Did you create that band, Jerry? And then the second part of that is, how did you and Kelly meet up to do the Jerkel gigs?
Do you want to take it, Jer?
Sure. So in 02, 03, it was 02, I was in a band that I quit, and I had then joined the Dusty 45s. And the Dusty 45s weren't playing as much. I mean, to make a living, we just didn't play as much. So I needed to compensate. So I put the Davanos together. So when because we toured a lot in the Dusties, and so I put the Davanos together to, play when we're home and to have a great time. So Fred Holzman,
yes,
were in this other band. So I sort of took Fred and started the Davanos. And but I guess, Kelly, you can take it from here if you want. So in 06, Kelly joined.
Well, kind of the funny thing about that is that I started playing with Billy Joe Hills in the Vinyl Avengers, which was an offshoot of the Dusty 45s. So it's kind of funny. It's like the Dusties weren't working, but the Vinyl Avengers were playing a weekly gig. But through that's when I met Jerry for the first time, which would have been in 05, I'm pretty sure.
Have you guys always been a somewhat comical actor? Were you more serious in the beginning, or did you sort of develop as you got to know each other and relax more?
We call it foodling.
Foodling.
Which means, if you look it up in the dictionary, foodle
I
means
will.
to talk nonsense. And
Well, that was really it. I mean, we discovered right away when we started playing together. I think Jerry would come down to where the Vinyl Avengers were playing and would jam occasionally. So I got, and it's like, oh, hey, right away.
Right.
And then not long after that, I started subbing in with the Dusty 45s. And then we could tell right away that we blended our voices together really well. I was on drums.
Yeah.
And I'm not playing guitar. Jerry was the lead guitar. So and then, we are sharing a similar humor. And it's like real natural. Like, oh, if I sing here, he'll go there. And it was,
So
real easy.
how long did you know each other and play together as the Jerkels? Or were you not named that? Or how does that go?
The Jerkels or Jerkels, the
Right.
Jerkels, we put our names together, Jerry and Kelly. But it's Jerkels we almost prefer.
It's easier to say.
More punk.
Yeah.
So let's see, that was 2009 we started the Jerkels, right?
Wow.
Right. It was there was you tell about the post.
Those and what I was this previous thing that I was doing fell through, and I just asked Kelly, I said, you play guitar, right? He goes, yeah, I play a little bit. And so I mean, we had one rehearsal and we had a show, I think like the next day in month in 2009, and it went really well. And they hired us to do a weekly show there in Post Alley, and the rest is history. We had not
stopped
quickly. I mean, we had Kelly's last name Van Camp, mine's Battista. Van Tista came up.
That's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, we nixed it though, just because it sounded too metal. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Van Tista too metal.
And
I love it.
Jerkels, it fits us better.
Yeah. Well, I think we did go as the Foodle Kings.
Yeah.
I think maybe the first time we did it.
Yeah.
We had to figure out how to spell Jerkels, whether to do, 2 R's, 2 L's. We just
I struggled
settled
with
on
that.
Or put
one R and 1 L
between the names,
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't like the name. They said, that's dumb. You should change that.
I know it's not dignified, but I would engage them about that. Yeah. And then could never get a straight argument about why it's a bad name.
Yeah, I got to tell you a story about that. I named this whole program Matured Musicians for a number of reasons, but I've taken more flack for that and it's been a good time. I mean, people just have to poke at it, and I think you did that, Jerry.
Yeah, well, you could have called the old geezers or something. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
well, I mean, it seems like no matter what name you get, there's always going to be some confusion. Like I hear people say Devanos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
or they what's that mean? What is that? And I explain it's a Davenport, it's a couch. That's my folks used to call it a Davino, or my grandparents.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we had to come up with a name quickly. The agents were waiting, the club owners were waiting, and so I mean, I didn't think that the Davinos. This is the 20th year for the Davinos this year. So, yeah, crazy.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah,
it's been kind of a long question here, and of course, it's really hard. You have to excuse me. It's really hard for me to read this, but it says, Jerry and Kelly, I enjoyed seeing you at Woody's and Shoreline. When I came up to you, you got me up. Things we said today. I'm planning to see Jerry with Roger Fisher in February 7th, Wednesday night. At Kiss the Sky Books in Sultan.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and Donald Malador says, do you guys have any videos? And Donald, I did put some in there. Kelly, can you tell us where they might be able to find Jerkel videos? Is there is it under your name on Jerkels, or is it on each of your names, or how do you find them?
Well, we do have the Facebook page. It's a band page. Or is it a band page? It's a band page.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And we do post things up there.
Okay.
We were starting a YouTube channel. A friend of ours, Libby Mosier, was starting that, but there was, I think, some issues just because of copyrights and such. I don't know how to, because there's music we don't own, but we do post things. I know there's a website thing. We've got to get. I'm going to get it together. I promise. It's just we own the domain name, but have not. Put that together.
And it only took 20 years, Kelly.
No, we're just starting. I know. Well, we're 13 years then, right, Jerry? We're 13 years
this year.
Yeah.
Oh, who's 20? So, Davanos?
It's the Davanos.
Davanos is 20.
Oh, I'm sorry. I confused you. So I took. You're what? I'm sorry.
I'm 40 now, so.
Yeah.
Can I challenge that? Okay.
I'll disagree for the block. You're correct.
Hey, I just got a new phone.
God, I didn't think anybody had those old bricks anymore. Oh my goodness. So, Sherry, starting with you, what with the Jerkels and the Davanos, and I don't know if you belong to any other bands. And I do know that the Davanos is like was 2018 considered the #1 band, and in Seattle Weekly.
Yeah,
So you.
I mean, there's. I don't think there's any best in music anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, come on, we beat out Pearl Jam.
Hey, that's great.
But I'll take it. All
right. So the question then is, what with all these bands going on, or at least these two, what happened when we all got shut down with COVID? What did you guys do? First Jerry, and then you, Kelly. What occupied you, and how much did that actually hurt you?
Well, I'll start at the beginning. Right before COVID hit, I was saying I'm on burnout. I mean, I was doing almost 100 shows a year, and I said I need some time off. I'm just starting to burn out here. And then kind of be careful what you wish for. And I actually enjoyed it in the beginning. It was kind of a nice time off.
Yeah.
Then I actually caught COVID in March of 2020, right in the early.
Yeah, I did too.
Before vaccines and all that stuff, and but. During that time, my buddy Greg Yahtzee and he came over and we recorded a bunch of songs, a bunch of my original tunes, and got to concentrate on original stuff, which I still do, but a lot of times when you're playing all the time, you don't necessarily do a whole lot of writing like you'd like to. So that's what I did. I recorded a bunch of tunes, and it was a lot of fun.
So can we categorize you as a full-time musician with that most of your life you supported yourself with your music?
Yeah. What's funny even today still, and I don't get upset by it, but people often ask, what's your real job?
Yeah.
This is my real job,
No.
And, and a lot of musicians out there, they poo-poo playing cover tunes, but most of them that are playing all originals, have their day job, and I like to do both.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question, but it escaped me because I got lost while you were saying, Kelly. Same thing. What happened to you during COVID? What were you doing?
Yeah,
Do you write songs? I think I asked you last time, and I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not really a big songwriter. Although Jerry and I are talking about doing that, and I think we will. It's just a matter, like Jerry says, if you're playing a lot, gigging a lot, it kind of takes away from the writing time. I'm involved with a lot of different groups, and I do get involved with groups that do original material, and So I'm involved in arranging and that kind of thing quite a bit. I get to do that, but it's like as far as writing for myself, I don't. I'll go in like little spurts of getting some ideas, but then I get busy, and I do love to play. I play a lot, and like Jerry says, I mean, I've never had a problem with playing cover songs. It's a great experience when you get to do a wide variety of stuff.
Yes.
With good folks, and so
you play a lot of different. I mean, you play with a lot of different folks. I mean, you have rehearsals and then play with them, and then probably don't play with them for another year or so. So I really admire that. That's a lot of work, but it's got to be rewarding as well.
Yeah.
I play, the Davinos and the Battista brothers, my brother and I, and Jerkels and a few other little things, but yeah. Kelly's good.
And I do like playing, professionally, I guess you'd call it. I don't want to, I never thought of like the mercenary tradesman, contract wielding, slick professional guy. But to me, it's like, well, if you're actually doing it, then you can say that you're doing it.
Yes. So I think I would like to hear it. You two would come up with as an original song. I think that would be really fun. I think
we've done little bits of things, and I'm pretty darn certain that we will. We just have to
we have enough time, but I don't want another COVID shutdown.
Right. It's like if we could take time out from this interview, and I'll go upstairs and we'll write something.
Well,
but that's kind of what it would take. We just need to get together and do it, really.
Right. So
this is actually coffee, by the way.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I'm going to ask Jared because, I know a little bit more about his bands and a little less about what's going on with them. So what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? Or do you have any goals that you're setting? And where do you see yourself working with Kelly in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I'll be 45. So what? Well, I guess really doing the same thing, but hopefully have some material out that people can listen to. We went in, Davinos went into London Bridge Studios and
oh, I know Jonathan Plum.
Yeah, and we did 20 songs, and but it's kind of on hiatus right now. So I hopefully we'll get that out. I'd like to do something with Kelly and record and get something out as well. And so that's kind of my goal. I mean, and it's funny. People ask sometimes, when are you going to retire? And I always like to say, Willie Nelson always said, retire to what?
Yeah. or retire from what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We do have a few more comments. One says, Roger Kiss the Sky Books Gigs with Jerry will be on Wednesday, February 8th. I printed out something. Oops, it just missed it. A post got from one of the websites recently. Now I don't know what this person is talking about.
I think that sounds like math.
Okay, Michael.
Oh, go ahead, Joey. Sorry.
I said, Jerry, the Davinos and Jerkels play a different kind of set list than most dance bands. What is your philosophy on song choices? That's a good question. I like that one.
Usually, I mean, for me, it's I kind of read the room.
Yeah.
And I kind of get a feel for the room and, like what songs. I mean, every band says, what do you want to play first? What's the first song,
Yeah.
Usually it kind of starts it off, and I don't know, Kel.
It's just kind of, the songs that reflect our taste. I've always thought, why I've never had a problem with playing covers because especially I play the covers that really mean a lot to me, the songs I really love. And so it's just like, for me, it's like I'm at my best playing songs that I love, and I get excited about it. And then
Yeah.
Yeah. It just, you're communicating that forward. So that's really, I mean, I still have the piece of paper that when Jerry and I were brainstorming, like, okay, what do we play? Because we had to decide, we had a gig coming up. So we just like sat down, well, what can we play? And we'd sung together a few songs, but we just went down the list and, it's like we were both Monkees fans, Beatles fans,
Yeah.
for country stuff, Roger Miller, Johnny Horton, just, ones that we had common.
And we play of obscure tunes that nobody has heard before, but tunes we like,
Sure.
And
I heard most of what you play.
yeah, and every now and again, you'll get to play something we know.
Go figure.
Yeah. Then you want to be nice and just like, and oftentimes you can, carry it off with your chosen material, but every now and again, it's like, all right, we'll go right into Mustang Sally then. Fine.
Oh, I love that song.
Yes, it's a great song, but
yeah,
girl.
Yeah. But
sha la 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 ti da.
We used to play that all the time because it's a good song to country dance to. It's a line dance.
Oh yeah, the line dance too.
Or the country slide, of course, and the country side of the house.
Oh,
so we got through the vision. Did you answer the question on the 5-year plan and goals, Kelly?
Oh, no. Yeah. If Jerry doesn't fire me, I will hire him. No, I would love the idea that we would come out with, the fingers of blame. I'd love the idea if we come out with a body of work, and I think we could, because the cool thing about the Jerkels, one of them, there's many of them, but one of them is that it sounds like there's more going on up there than there is. We've been told that. Like, are you guys playing the pre-recorded tracks?
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's all.
I can attest to
that. We say no, but thank you.
Yeah, but thank you.
I want to make a comment about being up on stage with you two guys, because you're often, not often, it's one Tuesday a month, Kelly, that you play with Jerry.
Mm-hmm. The first,
first Tuesday.
I couldn't remember to put that in the. But anyway, when I was up there playing with you guys, you cannot imagine the amount of energy that's up there. The singer who comes up to sing with you guys feels, because of just the whole way you present yourselves, the way you do your music and your humor. So I thought you should know that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. What if the question that I'm going to ask, and we're getting a little short on time here, but one of the questions I wanted to ask about your good times and your bad times, and I want to start with Jerry. I kind of told him that I was going to do this. What is one of those aha moments that you had somewhere in your career, or maybe a whole line of aha moments, I don't know, that made you feel in that special feeling of, oh my gosh, I did the right thing?
Man, that's a tough question. There's certain shows that are just feel so magical, and it's just like where you say, I made the right decision. But sometimes you don't. You have shows where you just go, what am I doing? It was an awful show, or you feel it was an awful show, and then people say, man, that's the best I've heard you sound before. I don't know if I'm answering your question or not. But,
yes, you are. You're not the first musician to say that, Jerry.
Oh, okay.
You're right on track.
When it's on, it is on, and it makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, like hopefully you're doing for the people out there. But what was the other question? The worst?
The worst. I suppose you kind of answered that in some way, but is there any particular thing that ever happened to you that made you say, what am I doing here? Or some moment that you just like, oh, I don't want to think about that anymore. I wake up with nightmares.
Well, there was many shows, touring where, you're kind of doing a pit stop between maybe some of the bigger shows, and nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
They didn't promote it. I remember a particular show with the Dusties in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yes, I know where that is.
Was,
Des Moines,
That's in
Washington.
Minnesota.
where there was nobody there, and the club was awful, and the bathroom. I remember the bathroom was like just graffiti and stickers and no toilet seat, no door. I don't think there was a urinal. I don't remember exactly. You know, those particular shows, sometimes, you get the good and the bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's funny now, like the Dabinos and the Jerkels have been around for so long. We don't really have to prove ourselves. I mean, people know who we are.
Yes, they do.
I mean, we don't. I mean, around here anyway. I mean, we don't. We haven't either one haven't done a whole lot of touring, but it is nice, to the old days would you would have your packet with your cassette and a song list and all stuff, and trying to get the agents to come out and hear you and have the the owners, you'd play for free or maybe a beer, and now they call us, and we don't have to do the legwork so much anymore, so which is nice.
Right. It's getting more and more online. I kind of put you through this. I kind of urge you to do this, Jerry, because this whole industry is moving towards independent singer-songwriters rather than big record companies coming and picking you out.
Right.
And, there are a lot of, I mean, I don't know personally, but from what I've heard from musicians who do breweries and wineries, that they ask for the electronic EPK. And I have one on my website, and it was an experience, but it is moving towards that. So it's much more electronic rather than anything paper that might do, or any cassette or video or whatever.
Right.
They want to know if you're on YouTube. They want to know if you have any videos of what you do, so they can see you live and how your audience is responding to you.
Right. Yeah, I need to do that. I need a manager.
Oh, Libby is there.
I don't like doing any of that stuff, but I just want to. I like to do the music, but the rest of it's like that's work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You saw that today. Right.
It's so much of an advantage to be able to do as much as you can on a grassroots level, because that's in the end, that's still what we want to do. We want to be able to set up in a room with 2 guitars and microphones and just go. We don't want to like strategize all day about what Jerry, that we got to hit the right demographic with our set list, and I think the projections for this show in April, and we'll go to the focus groups. Yeah, no, Jerry, no, this is important. We need to have a meeting. I don't think Jerry and I have ever had a business meeting, have we? Not a business meeting.
I don't recall. It usually turns into foodling.
Exactly. It's hard to have a business meeting when you're just making.
I got a comment.
Cracking wise.
Yeah.
I got a comment to you guys. I know you know Kelly, but Jerry, this is on YouTube, and those people who have not joined the local Matured Musicians website or group have a way to view this, and you can find it on YouTube. It's going to live there forever, and that goes all over the world. It's it's digital, so whoever's tuning in from whatever country that happens to run across it, you're being seen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. So some of the last questions I have to, and it's a little risque, but hopefully it reminds you of a few things. I want to keep it clean, but I also want to speak reality. I was playing with Billy Shoe, and he had gone up to Canada after a birthday party that he had a jam, and then he went to Canada that night. And he was telling about how in Canada, these ladies, it was a Western, it was a honky tonk, and these ladies are riding a mechanical bull with topless. I mean, that's not going to happen here. And now he's going back up there again. I don't know about him. We need to talk.
I got a visual.
Yeah.
So, have you ever had any of those kinky kind of experiences where you just say, really?
They do occur. We've seen some things. Jerry, have you seen some things?
Oh, I sure have seen some things. I
don't think he wants to talk.
We have no t-shirts, and this gal wanted a t-shirt, and she got up on stage and just took off her shirt and put the Davino shirt on. And she didn't have a bra on.
Oh,
but that's rock and roll, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
We
Getting a
were at
visual.
a gig like
Speaking
that.
of visuals.
Yeah.
We were in Port Orchard area. We went to a gig like that, and my guys were, watching the dance floor and watching the singers and dancers. And yeah, he got flipped. And I swear to gosh, that my lead almost fell off the stage. So, and I've never brought this up before, but I think, those experiences are there. So if you're a first timer and you wonder what it's going to be like out there, wild things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen much anymore like it did
No,
when.
it still happens. Trust me.
Yeah.
But then there's also things like burlesque, because certainly we've played, on shows where like with burlesque acts. And so, yeah, there's.
You guys, the Jerkels, have played in burlesque, or your other bands, or
other bands for sure. Maybe we have. I have to think about that.
Yeah.
But
burlesque is a little cleaner. I mean, it's a little more, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not raw and unplanned.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it might be raw, but it's not unplanned. Yeah.
So coming up is, what would you like to promote today about the Jerkels and your plans for the act? How would you?
Well, we have a show very timely coming up on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
At the Little Red Hen in Green Lake, which is we've had a long time standing there. It was interrupted by the COVIDs, but we resumed and are still doing there about monthly.
Oh,
and then we
on
mentioned
a set date, Kelly, on a set date at the Little Red Hen.
not a set date, not like the same. Although it happens to be the next couple of months, the fourth Thursday.
Okay.
Well, actually,
please
it is the fourth Thursday of January, February, and March. We're taking April off from there. But January 26, February 23, and March 23 at the Little Red Hen. The Jerkels.
Jerry's got his pencil there. I think he has his calendar out as well.
He's going like, what? There it is. Hold on, let me get mine out too.
Oh,
Kelly,
I like that.
You should join Kiss Guy on the 8th of February.
Uh-huh.
The 8th of February.
Are you playing?
I have possible Jerkels. Say that again, I'm sorry?
I have Kelster open on February 8th.
Yes, I have possible Jerkels from our January 12th. That's kind of a business meeting, I guess. We'll have to we'll go back over the calendar when we're done.
All right.
But yeah, I should be around for that.
Unless the people want to sit in on our little calendar meeting, that would be really interesting.
Yeah, it would be revealing. There are a couple more ones though that are coming up that I should mention, which is of course the first Tuesday at the Oxford Saloon in Snohomish. I joined Jerry. The Jerkels open for the open mic, as you well aware, Joy.
Yes.
And hopefully you'll be there again.
No, I'm never coming back.
Now we've done it.
Kelly,
February 7th.
Are you at the Oxford tonight?
I'll be there.
I am at the Oxford tonight.
It's Monday.
And
you guys are playing an act. You playing at the Oxford tonight?
I am. I'm doing my first solo show there tonight.
Oh, okay.
If I get my voice is all crusty.
I'm going to be tonight, and Greg Yahtzee is going to join me tomorrow for the open.
Okay. Great.
Can I also
I'll be
mention,
there.
Jer,
I'll be there.
February 11, Saturday, February 11, Bits in Mukilteo. That's the Jerkels.
Yeah.
Okay. Mukilteo. Where's it at in Mukilteo?
What
Where?
did you
Where?
call? It's called Bits.
Bits.
Bits
Okay.
Eatery.
Bits
It
Eatery.
holds about 30 people, and they have great food, great drinks, and wine, and
Great peoples. Yeah.
Can you guys post some, number one, the Jerkels website and this information about coming up dates on matured musicians, so people that are in the area that are looking for you, because it's, sometimes it's easy to miss the things that go out onto the internet or things that Larry posts. Larry is the guy over at Oxford that you want to be good to.
Mr. Walker.
Backed by Jerry. Yeah. So that would be a good idea if you could take the time. I know you're both very busy. So
No, it'd be a great idea. I would love to post our Jerkels happenings on the Matured Musicians group.
Oh yeah.
Site.
So the next question I have, good, we'll look for you, is what was the most difficult thing that you had to learn, Jerry? Could be the sound, it could be the music, it could be setting up a stage. I mean, what would you say the most difficult thing you've had to learn in your career?
Well, I guess the first thing that came to mind was Kelly and I did Grease at the Fifth Avenue Theater. And the songs weren't particularly hard, but we had to read charts and you have to play them the same way. And then sometimes you'd show up and they'd have changed something. And I was way out of my wheelhouse. I mean, I did it, but that was really, really hard for me. Cause I'm a free form guy, and to do it, that was probably for me the hardest thing to do in my career. I'm glad I did it, but I was reluctant to do it.
Who talked you into it, Kelly?
Billy.
We railroaded him into it.
Yeah.
It's just like we wanted to share that theater experience because there is a lot of cool things that come out of it.
Yeah.
So I had a great time doing that one, particularly with Jerry involved. That Grease, that was in 2015. So that was and at the Fifth Avenue Theater, which is top-notch, world-class theater. I had a great time doing that.
I felt I was. They wanted us so we were the Rydell High School band, right? And we had dressed up. We were on stage the whole time, and what was the choreographer? She came in. This is before like our first rehearsal, or for my first rehearsal. Kelly had done quite a few before that, but. She goes, well, she comes in, she goes, I'm sure, everyone's seen Grease before. And I raised my hand. I was like, I've never seen it. And I went off the DVD. So
he was like, oh, I know this song. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Jerry. So Kelly, what was the hardest thing about your music or your musical career? Well, I think you can call it that too.
Yeah. I think, and one of the reasons I just couldn't see how to do it. I worked the office job for many years, and I worked for the state of Washington, and then by that time I'd moved to Seattle, and when Jerry and I started playing, I was still working the day job, but it was, I couldn't see how to make that leap. And it took some years before I kind of just had to make it my one option. One of them was just getting in too much trouble at work, from staying out till 4 and then trying to get up at 7 and go to the office.
The Sitka gig, that was classic. We were supposed to leave. We wake up in the morning like, Kelly's still here. We had one more day or something, right? But
a gig was added. A gig was added on the Monday night. Right. I think it was. And it's like, Kel, can you stay? And it's like, I'm going to, and just deal with it later. That's what I do.
That was sort of the decision, though, for you. I mean, not to interrupt your story, but it seems like that was sort of the start.
Oh, for sure. It was things like that, but it took, and that was, I would have been 06, and it wasn't until July of 08 that I finally did make the leap and quit the day job. But that was the thing, just trying to figure, how to make the finances work and to get over the up and downness, like a busy July, but a quiet August,
exactly.
Things like that. But managed to get there. Yeah.
So when we're through, you'll be able to see this on my Facebook page. You'll also be able to see it, Matured Musicians, and I'll send you both a link in YouTube. And I'd like you to go through on Facebook, if you have a few minutes, to answer these people. I can't get to all of you out there that are making comments, and I see your comments here, but there's a lot of stuff to cover with two people at the same time. So I do want to thank you for making those comments. I will be going in there and answering anything that I can. And I apologize, but that's just the way the system is right now.
Yeah.
So starting with Jerry, I have another question for you. What advice would you give people coming up? I mean, you're quite a ways into your journey, and there are people that are just starting up. Maybe they've been out of the music world for some time and are coming back into it. Maybe they're just young and starting, like Spencer and West Hampton, Spencer Toyson. So what advice would you have for them? And then you're next, Kelly. So.
Don't do drugs.
Yes, I like that one.
Just say no.
Man, I guess it's a full package. You have to have, not only be a great musician and be able to sing or whatever, but you have to have a personality. You have to kind of, I don't know, don't be that egotistical musician.
Yeah.
Don't be that.
Always somebody better.
Girl. And just love what you do, and follow your heart, what you love to play. And that's what's going to come out the best. If you try to be something you're not, then people will see through that.
Right. Exactly. Kelly, can you add to that?
No, I think it's right on the head. I remember, because you asked me that before when you interviewed me in November, and I gave a good answer. So go see that episode. But it was about have integrity, believe in what you're doing and be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, those are great answers, and I appreciate that. And I'm sure people out there have listened and love it too. So I've gotten a lot of activity today compared to some. So you guys obviously are well known and people are responding. I appreciate that.
Good. Hello, everyone.
So what in parting would you like to say? We have just a couple minutes. I'm going to have to switch. I got another interview back to back. So stay tuned. This is double header. Michael Powers is coming up very shortly. Very shortly. What is your last thoughts before we leave, Jerry? And then Kelly.
Just continue doing this thing that I do with some of my best friends.
Yes.
I feel really, really lucky. And sometimes when I feel like, I don't want to go do this gig or whatever, I just have to think about my landscaping job I had many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel so lucky. Do what I love.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And Kelly, and your dog. And Kelly,
there she is. There's Sophia.
Kelly, your last words. You're not your last words, but your last words today.
Come see. Well, first of all, let's see. Hey, Jerry. Am I turned the right way? Hey, Jerry, I think that was our first ever Jerkels interview. How do you think it went?
Right.
He's talking to his dog.
Did you see how am I facing you?
Yeah.
Hi, yeah. Jerry. Hey, how did you think the interview went?
Well, Kel. Oh, hold on. Let's do our. Well, Kel.
Oh yeah.
I thought it went really well. Joy did a great job with us.
She sure did. She sure did.
I know you're running out of time, Joy, but we had was it Wyoming?
Wyoming.
We were sitting at a counter, this old diner, and this guy was talking to everybody like this.
Yeah.
Called him
But he would not talk when he took the glass down.
Yeah.
So Jerry and I picked up on that. So he could only have a conversation like that. Yeah.
So anyway, Cal, when's your next gig? Tonight?
Yeah, I'm tonight, Oxford. Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys for being on. I really enjoyed this. And
this chord for the ending.
Yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah, he knows I like that. I just can't figure out how to do it.
It's like the 38 string guitar.
Yeah. All right, guys. You have a good rest of your week. I'll be seeing you.
All right. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So we do have Michael coming up, and Michael Powers, and he's a great musician. You'll enjoy this interview. I'm going to end the broadcast, but I will come right back on within the next 5 minutes. See you all then. Bye.